Hey there, YouTube. So, as many of you may know, especially through my Advice to Parents series, I do fully support LGBT positive churches, at least in the aspect of supporting LGBT people and encouraging people to love and accept their family and love and accept themselves. Because, well, honestly, this world needs more LGBT acceptance, and I'm not going to turn away somebody who's working toward a common goal. And I honestly believe that LGBT positive churches encourage people to love and accept themselves and help to decrease bullying and violence against the LGBT community and against LGBT people. Because if there's some little closeted queermo going to one of those churches and their minister gives a sermon about acceptance, love, and tolerance, you know that it's going to be easier for that LGBT person who's closeted to love and accept themselves. But from the skeptical and from my atheist perspective, I got some questions for those people of faith, specifically for Christians, but in general for anybody who follows the Abrahamic religions. So I got a list of 10 things that I would like just answered by any person of faith out there, specifically Christian, but anybody of an Abrahamic religion. Be it Abrahamic is in Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, if you so choose. So, number 1, why should I believe you specifically? When there are 3 major religions that follow the Abrahamic God, Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, different names, still the same God. And in Christianity, there are so many denominations that have contradicting ideas. What gives your particular belief or flavor of the Abrahamic any clout? When there are so many, why are you right above all others? Number 2, if you're of the type of Abrahamic religion that does not believe in evolution, does that mean you believe that all creatures on earth are highly incestuous, and all life came from 2 of every animal and a handful of humans twice, both from the original Garden of Eden and from the Noah's Ark flood? Question 3. If your God is all-knowing and all-loving, why did he knowingly create creatures that would make him so mad that he would destroy his creation? Why did he not just create creatures that would not make him mad? Just asking. 4. If Yahweh is outside of time, then why does he not appear to know his own thoughts in the future? As an example, in Acts 10 verses 9 through 16 states that a bunch of animals were made clean and were okay to eat, when earlier in the book of Leviticus, in verse 11:7, he says that pigs specifically, but certain animals are not okay to eat. Why couldn't your deity have just said, well, here's what you can eat, and just not say another word on it? Number 5. If Emmanuel of Nazareth is truly your Messiah, how do you account for the other religions of the same time period that had similar God and human forms from around the same time period? There was actually a number of religions that claimed to have God in human form, and stories of virgin birth and so forth, very similar stories to Emmanuel of Nazareth, getting very popular around the same time. Also, the Hindu god Krishna is very Christ-like. How do you account for those? Number 6. If you celebrate Emmanuel of Nazareth's birthday in December, if you celebrate Christmas, do you admit that Mary, mother of Jesus, was a dumb ewe? If Jesus was the Lamb of God, that means Mary must have been the ewe of God. A ewe is a female sheep. If Jesus was the lamb, that means his mother was a female sheep, a ewe. And because the lambing season, the time when sheep are traditionally born in Israel, is in February, does that mean Mary was kind of dumb and gave birth a whole 2.5, 3 months earlier? Just asking. Number 7. If you have any pictures of Emmanuel of Nazareth, including a creche, which is the little manger scene around the holidays, or around the winter holidays specifically. How do you justify that against the second commandment? No graven images. You're making a graven image of Emmanuel of Nazareth, and yet, isn't that a graven image within itself? That's why Muslims specifically, they say no it seems that Muslims specifically follow that verse more highly. Hence why anybody who draws Muhammad gets in big trouble. Or people get upset when people draw pictures of Muhammad. Isn't that the same? Second of the Ten Commandments when it relates to Jesus. So are you going to hell for having a creche in your house? If you happen to have a creche or happen to have any images of Emmanuel of Nazareth? Number 8. When you live in a capitalist system based on wanting what you do not have and still follow the Ten Commandments, how does that work? The 10th of the Ten Commandments says, don't covet your neighbor's house or wife, and yet how can you live in a capitalist system and participate in a capitalist system where wanting what you don't have is quintessent, which is a core part of keeping the system going? How can you justify coveting your neighbor's house and wife so you go out to a store and buy it against the actual 10th of the 10 Commandments? Number 9. How would you feel if you had you're going to a bad place when you die information from another religion, say the flying spaghetti monsters, people went out in full force and dropped little leaflets saying, if you don't believe in the flying spaghetti monster, you're going to a bad place when you die, including like leaving these as part of their tips to servers. I mean, when I worked in the restaurant industry, occasionally I would get, you're going to a bad place when you die, in with my tip money. As well as having like this kind of information shoved in your face, left on your doorstep, put on your car, and furthermore, and then when you speak out and say, well, no, that's not right, stop shoving it in my face, for those people of that religion to say, well, you're oppressing me because you're saying that we're oppressing you. Just saying, how would you feel about that? To have another religion shoving, if your religion, Christianity, was not the dominant religion, how would you feel about that? Having another religion forced in your face all the time, like many atheists, agnostics, pagans, and so forth do. And number 10. How do you justify the fact that many ministers, preachers, bishops, authors, and such have billion-dollar homes, private jets, million-dollar incomes, and mega-churches when there are starving people in crumbling cities all over the world due to enormous poverty? How can you justify people making money off your religion when all there's this negativity, and your own religion itself saying it is easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to go to heaven? Just asking. If you could post a video by sending it to me personally, I will link it below in the I will link it below if you post a video about it, or if you just want to answer it in comments. Yeah. So please let me know. Peace out, YouTubes.